Thank you for joining me. My name is Marcel, and today we are going to be trying 3 different expressions from the Bridgeland Distillery in Calgary, Alberta. But before we get into the whiskey, why don't you grab yourself a glass, pull up a chair, and let's talk about a whiskey thing. So I'm going to I'm not going to get into much about the distillery as there's 3 different whiskeys, so that's going to take us a little bit as it is. I will get into the distillery a bit more in other videos when I do other reviews on them. Before we really get into the whiskey, I'm just going to give you a little bit about all of them, what I find interesting about these 3 expressions in particular. The Innisfail expression, which is the one we were going to start with, is 41.5% ABV, but it is, 58% malted barley, 30% unmalted barley, and then 12% oats. Triple distilled and is aged in new and used American and French oak. But aside from the American and French oak, it is the closest to Irish whiskey. This will present itself as an Irish whiskey. The Tabercorn Bourbon, spelled B-E-R-B-O-N, is going to present itself more as a wheated bourbon, as its mash bill is 60% Tabor corn, 32% malted barley, 12% wheat. So it's going to present closer to a wheated bourbon. And then this one, the Glenbow, is 100% Rocky Mountain malt, so Rocky Mountain malted barley. So it is, and double distilled. This is going to present closer to a Scotch. So all these 3 different expressions all present as different styles of whiskey from around the world, all coming from one distillery from the same country. So I find that fairly interesting. So I'm excited to see how they manage to express how the 3 different expressions differ from each other, because they are going to present completely differently. These 2 I feel will be fairly similar, and then this one is going to be the most different. What I think, and at the end I will rate which one I think is the best. That's just what I think is the best. That's my personal opinion. So everybody has different tastes. My taste is not going to be the same as yours. I feel like I'm probably going to enjoy, because I enjoy Scotch the most. I would probably like the Glenbow. We're going to do low ABV to high ABV, 41.5%, 45%, and 47.8%. Sorry, I just had to take a quick look at my notes beside me. So, Innisfail. So, and I absolutely love these little bottles. They kind of remind me of little cologne bottles, little cologne or perfume bottles, and they are all distilled in single copper pot, custom single copper pot still. Okay, so what do we got on the nose? It's very soft. Soft caramels, vanillas, shortbread. I really like a caramel shortbread. And the reason that I say that it is close to an Irish whiskey, Irish style whiskey, is because Irish whiskeys are typically 50% malted barley and 50% unmalted barley. They, however, do a little bit of a change up with with adding the oats in there, which the oats is probably going to be for mouthfeel. It's going to add a nice mouthfeel. And spicy oaky caramel. a little water into there. Ooh, that softens it into just not plain shortbread. There still is a little bit of the caramel, little toasted brown sugar, but it's more shortbread with a side of stewed apples. The fruity floral, kind of orchard floral, like pear blossoms. The fruity floralness comes out with water. It opens up into water. It opens up into water. It doesn't open up into water. It opens up with water. And a little fresh pear. That is quite interesting. And then on the palate with water, bready oak, a little bit of spice on the back, a little bit of spice on the back end of the palate after, like, with a little bit of water. It is good. I like it. Like it. And now for the taper corn bourbon. Okay, so as I said, this one is likely to present like a wheated bourbon. Instantly sweet, like tin corn sweet, and a little corn husk. Apples, yeah, definitely gives off a little bit of apple, like Granny Smith, because it's a little tart. Has a bit more of a tart smell. I smell a little cinnamon on the back of it. A little grainy hay, kind of sort of a straw smell. Reminds me. It reminds me of the plains. It reminds me of like a nice gentle ride through the plains of Alberta. It smells like a prairie breeze. It's really nice. But it also smells like canned corn. Deep in there is caramel apples. So we have a prairie breeze, fresh grain, caramel apples, and tin corn. It's soft, it's peppery, a little chocolatey. It does have a bourbon-esque tone to it. There's a sweetness. It's not the same kind of a cherry sweet that most that Kentucky bourbons have. It is its own sweet. It's peaches and cream canned corn, but with more of a vanilla tone to it. A little spicy on the finish. It doesn't have an overly long finish. It is, I would say short medium finish. But it smells good. It tastes good. It is a wonderful statement of the prairies. in my opinion. It makes me think of Alberta. Oh, and then that brings out toasted caramel, pitted fruits like apricots and peaches, like peach, canned pears, canned peaches, that caramelized. Okay, earthy, sweet, pear blossom, floral. Okay, so then, as I said, this one should present close to a Scotch. Presents kind of like a Highland. Presents similar to a Highland. Sweet floral vanilla, kind of honeysuckle. Straw and hay, has a barn kind of a smell, kind of a feel, but it also smells like a dusty closet full of mothballs and leather dress shoes and leather belts. And it's sweet and floral, undertones of cereal. And each part of the glass is completely different. Every smell is amplified either by a nostril or a different part of the glass as the vapors interact and build, and the compounds release in the glass and up the glass, and where they escape, because some are heavier than others. Very interesting on the nose. So far they are drastically different. They are all very different whiskeys. That is good. Sweet floral leather. Well, we can call it fruit leather, I suppose. Dark dried fruits. I'm getting like raisins, dried plums, figs, dates, and a little bit of, I would call it toasted brown sugar over a caramel or a toffee. Call it a toasted brown sugar for sure. Yeah, and then when I go back after having it in the palate, when I go back to the nose, I get a lot stronger of the dusty mothball closet with leather belts and leather dress shoes. But the the fruity floral is a lot stronger on the palate than it is on the nose. I find that quite interesting. I find that very little water. Immediately, it was canned pears and fresh apples. Canned pears, fresh apples. With water, the dusty mothballed closet, that goes away. And I'm sure with a little bit of time, with a little bit of air in the glass, after pouring it, give it about 20 minutes. It will transform a bit more. And if you were to do that, then that would probably dissipate. That would probably disappear. Not disappear, but that would become fainter, and then the fruity floral would open up a bit more. I'm just multi-cereally on the palate. Palate gets kind of washed out with water. So I would say probably without water for that one. Actually, I'm more of a neat guy anyway. I don't add much water to many things. Maybe the taper corn. Probably add some water to that. That softens it up and opens it up in an interesting way. Maybe either if you're going to have two pours, have one neat and then one with water, just to be able to do a little A/B comparison with them. So overall, I am very happy with this whiskey. A good representation of the way Canadian whiskey is going, where things are going with Canadian whiskey. And thank you very much for joining me. I will see you another time for another whiskey thing. Cheers.